Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DuePoint. Good evening to everyone out on our live stream this evening, wherever you may be in South Africa. Bridget's on our live chat, so you're very welcome to say hi, introduce yourself, tell us where you are, tell us how many guests you have with you. I'm glad you made it out. I was surprised anyone came to our Tuesday presentation because that's when the cold weather hit us. I thought everyone was going to be staying home. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending short, sharp 35 minutes with you. It's a fairly quick presentation, I think. It is a business proposition. It's an invitation to join us in a partnership. And so I hope to give you enough information so that you're able to make a decision after this presentation. If you have any questions, go speak to the person that's hosting you, that's invited you, that's introduced you to DuePoint. And if you have any further questions they can answer, you're most welcome to come speak to me or give client service a call. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint is actually a division, very small writing there, of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. We've been around since 1952, so we're a very well-established business that you can go Google and go check out. But DuePoint is a fairly new division. We were formed about 3.5 years ago, so in February 2016, when a number of factors came together. Aspirations, I guess, for the founders of the business. One of them was to create social impact from an economic point of view for the community, for the country that we work within. We wanted to be part of a solution to a lot of the risks that we find ourselves in this economic circumstance today. And so what we did was we created an opportunity of social entrepreneurship. We say social entrepreneurship because it is very much a community-based business and a community-based partnership that we enter into. And our mandate becomes, the invitation is to come join us in this business and help us create what we call channels of distribution. And every company in South Africa will have channels of distribution into which they market and sell products. And we do exactly the same thing. The one difference between us and the majority of businesses is that most businesses go out and market and advertise using traditional channels. But at DuePoint, what we've done through this social entrepreneurship opportunity is rely on members of the public who decide to engage in the DuePoint system. And so your mandate becomes using word of mouth, referral network marketing to go tell people about DuePoint. And so if you're able to do that successfully, there are a host of benefits waiting for you. So primarily, and this is the only reason why you're here this evening, is income. Additional income, right? But the nature of the income that we produce here at DuePoint is very important to understand because it separates us from many businesses and typically employment. And most of us are employed and most of us at risk with all these issues that we find in employment, like retrenchment, retirement, your salary not going up in line with inflation, right? We've got all these risk factors. And so when we speak about recurring income mitigates a lot of that risk. Because here at DuePoint, what actually happens is you get to share in the upside of our business. You almost get a royalty, almost a share of the business that we do here at DuePoint. And so earning recurring income is not activity-based. That's the main point. It's not activity-based. Employment is activity-based. And many other businesses I've been involved in were activity-based. And they're painful because unless you're doing the work, that's the only way you derive income. And so if you're involved in sales or commission-based or any form of employment, if something threatens your ability to be active, well, then your income is threatened. And so, again, if you're retrenched, your income ends. When you retire, your income ends. If you're sick and you run out of your sick days, your income ends, right? And so recurring income, this ability to create income every single month, because next month I can very accurately predict how much income DuePoint's going to produce. DuePoint could shut its doors today. Shut its doors, you wouldn't see us, we'd still produce income next month. Because we produce income out of an asset, not out of our activity, right? One of the benefits you most certainly want to leverage, or two of them actually, is the power duplication and the technology, the flexibility that we've built into this business. Power duplication is your opportunity to go out and build a team around you. A team can build a channel of distribution much faster than you can on your own. And so go find good people to surround yourself with. They will help you, they'll collaborate you, and they will allow you to grow your income exponentially. I know we're not used to this in employment. Employment, we're happy with a 3% raise once a year, if you're lucky, if you're one of the lucky ones. But here at DuePoint, because you're building an asset, you have the freedom to build your income exponentially. At the same time, because we've invested heavily in technology, we're very much bullish about technology. Why? Because it makes business so convenient. It makes business easier. And so you're free to build a channel anywhere in the country at any time of the day. We've gotten rid of the time and the geography constraint of business. And so you can do business in Cape Town this evening. You can do business in Bloemfontein tomorrow morning. You don't have to take flights there. You don't even have to phone people anymore. And so leverage the technology because we have it in place. No startup capital, risk-free. We've designed this business to have very little risk. Typically, entrepreneurship is fraught with risk, right? Does anyone try to start their own business? How much money have you thrown into the businesses you've tried to start? I threw 15 years of the best years of my life into business, and I don't have much to show for it today. Maybe a couple of gray hairs and some experience. Right? But that's about it. And typically, entrepreneurship is fraught with risk. It's expensive, it is time-consuming, but we've designed this opportunity to have a very low barrier to entry. In other words, we've tried to make it as accessible as possible. And to do that, we've had to make it risk-free. And so that's a great thing because as a guest, as someone looking at this for the first time, you're free to consider doing DuePoint without any fear. You can do this knowing that you're not going to lose anything by trying to do DuePoint. At the same time, we don't have qualifications or experience requirements. You get to build an asset that you have ownership over. That's important. We should actually change that to not build an asset, but ownership. Ownership's the important thing. It's nice if you're just building an asset for someone else. That's what we do in employment. You're helping build assets at the places that you work for, but you don't get to enjoy the upside. When the company who you work for does well, do they give you a bonus? If you work extra hard and you focus more this month, does your boss say, I've seen you put in a lot of effort this month. I'm going to give you some more salary this month. Never, right? We never get to share in the upside unless we're an executive or we're one of the upper management people. But typically most of us don't get to share in that upside. But we're forced to experience the downside. Because if the company suffers, if the economy is doing badly, we get it. But here at DuePoint, you build an asset that you have ownership over. And that means you can't get retrenched at DuePoint. DuePoint doesn't retire you. DuePoint won't stop paying you when you're sick because you've built an asset. The asset is what pays you out, not the activity. And then finally, when we all die one day, what do most of us have to show for it? Most of us very little. But hopefully the people at DuePoint have built legacy over the lifetime that they're committed into building an asset, and you get to pass true wealth onto the next generation. And that separates us from many other opportunities. And then finally, there's no selling involved at DuePoint. Absolutely no selling. You're not going to be talking about a product or selling products. Your mandate is to go out and tell people about the business opportunity, not the product. The product is my responsibility, right? Your responsibility is just to connect people to this presentation. Convince someone just to come spend 30 minutes watching something. Right? You don't have to convince them. I'll try to convince them. But it's more about just informing them, connecting people that see the opportunity and want to go for it. Right? And that's your only job. And because our products are financial in nature, it means we don't have stock and distribution. Like I said, technology is a wonderful thing. I was speaking to Stacy. My background is design. And I was speaking to Stacy, who's that heads up our accounts, and telling her in the old days, and this was before my time, but I know people that were involved in this. In the old days, they used to have things called hot letter press, which is graphic design using metal stencils. So if you wanted to do a layout of a newspaper, you would have to get all the little metal blocks. You know, like the things at the end of typewriters? That's metal press. And to lay out a newspaper, you would have to move all of those things like Lego into place, just to do one page of the newspaper. And that's how they used to do it in the old days, right? Not that long ago, by the way. This was just before computers. And so technology is a wonderful thing, and it takes care of all the distribution of our products automatically. The debit orders run every single day automatically. We never have to bat an eyelid when sales are done at DuePoint. And so it's something that you never have to worry about. What you do have to worry about, however, is building a channel for yourself. And so it begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner here at DuePoint. You go out, you start connecting people, right? So as I said, you're just connecting people to this presentation. In this example, 5 people have gone, yes, this is what I've been looking for. They joined DuePoint too. They became wealth engineers and product owners. And that's the beginning of your channel. And you can see how suddenly this power of duplication can take over because those 5 people, right? One was lazy, one didn't do anything, but the other 4 went out and connected other people. And so this is the leverage that exists in our business. We allow you to enjoy the benefit of collaboration in your business, of that little team of 4 people going out and building their own channels, but in turn helping you build your channel. And this is the asset that you get to build. Every single dot in this example that you see on the screen is a product owner affording you what we call a return at the end of every single month. Right? And so this is what we focused on. How do we pay returns, or how do we calculate the returns that we pay our wealth engineers? It's based on a very simple 27 Rand 50 for every product that you have in your channel, but it's dependent on how close the product is to you. The closer it is, the more you get paid. Right? And so the people that you introduce personally to DuePoint yourself, we call that your first point. And on your first point, you actually earn double the 27 Rand 50. You're earning 55 Rand for every product on your first point. And so some quick maths just to get the mouth watering a little bit. You go connect 10 people in the next week, you're earning 550 Rand a month, 6,000 Rand a year. Right? You go out and help those people do what you're doing, and suddenly you've got your second point growing. If you had 100 people on your first and second point, that's 5,500 Rand. Sounds nice and simple. Hey, Nick. And so suddenly that's 60,000 Rand in annuity income. Right? And as your channel starts to grow to the 3rd point, the 4th point, all the way out to the 8th point, that multiplier drops as the product gets further away from you. But you are building an asset here that has no limit. Because from point 8, even though you're earning 4% of the 27 Rand 50, we don't limit you at point 8. You can carry on building your channel beyond point 8. We don't limit the size of your channel. We don't limit how much money you can earn at DuePoint. There's no limitation. 0 limitation. And so I always say to people, our desire is that we foster long-term relationships with people that get involved in here at DuePoint. And so I think it's easier to go, well, if they don't limit, if there's no limit on the income at DuePoint, well, maybe I can see myself here for 40 years. Some might look back at me in dread, going, that sounds like a marriage proposal. Right? But that's honestly what we want. As founders of the business, that's what we aspire to, creating long-term relationships, because that's where we have the most impact. Remember, we started the business, we designed it with the social aspect purely to create social impact. No other reason. We could have engaged in traditional avenues of marketing and advertising, right? But we didn't. And so we want to see the social impact happening. Social impact is just a fancy word for seeing people changing their own lives. And that's what we want to do. And so, no, there's no limitation to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. People still want to understand, well, how much money can you earn at DuePoint, and how long is it going to take, and how much effort is actually required. We have a 5-year projection. It's based on consistent activity of connecting 2 people every single month onto your first point. Right? So if you think of that, you're going to be connecting 1 person every 2 weeks into this business non-stop. If you can do that for 6 months, you can be around 2,500 Rand per month. Right? This little 2,500 Rand serves as a wonderful illustration to the power of money. So money has power, right? We all understand that. But often it has power over us as consumers. Because what consumers do is they look at money and they give it spending value. Right? So if I look at 2,500 Rand and someone says to me, how do you value that 2,500 Rand? When you look at it, what do you think of? Usually all I think of is, well, I can buy something with it. Right? I can buy a new guitar, I can buy dance lessons for my kids. It's limited in its value, very limited, and that's how most consumers think, and most of the population thinks. But very few people, and the people at DuePoint, we're hoping to get them to start thinking differently. So look at the 2,500 Rand and go, how do I leverage that to make more money? How do I turn it into a lot more money? And you can do that. For most of us who are indebted, the first step is just paying off your debt faster. Yeah. Right? There's more value in paying your debt off faster than investing money, by the way. Yeah. And so in this example, we've got a 1 million Rand bond as an example. If you put 20%, so 2,500 Rand into that bond as an additional payment over and above the installment, you don't take 20 years to pay that house off, you can do it in 11 and a half years. That's nearly half the time. Right? So in basic maths, you go, if I'm putting only 20% in, don't I pay the house off 20% faster? No. Right? Compound interest. If I put 20% extra into the bond, I reduce it by 50%. That's massive. right? And so there's a lot of value in that money. At 12 months, you're earning nearly 9,000 Rand a month. You see how quickly it escalates. 24 months, you're close to 28,000 Rand a month. After 36 months, we are close to 46,000 Rand a month. 4 years from now, you could be close to 70,000 Rand a month. And after 5 years, we're at about 85,000 Rand a month, which is about R1 million a year. Our business is we've only been around for 3.5 years, right? So we're not there yet. So it's very important for us to show you people that are doing the business, because this is academic. It might get you excited if you think, 85,000 Rand a month, that would be nice. Yeah. That would be nice, right? But this is a 5-year commitment. Every month, non-stop, consistently connecting new people into your business every single month. And so every month, we have a lovely opportunity where we invite actual people up onto stage to come share their testimony with us. And so we've got Natasha, single mom in Port Elizabeth, got introduced to the business 2.5 years ago, got engaged with a little bit of help from a lead wealth engineer, Don, and she, I think in her first month, she connected about 15 people in her first month. She had an extraordinary first 3 months. I think she jumped, in her first 3 months, I think she jumped to about 3,000 Rand a month, right? And then she kind of settled into it. Her channel's producing about 9,000 Rand a month. You can see it, she's connected, or she's still got 13 active people on her first point, of which they've helped her grow a channel of nearly 400 products in her channel, and her channel size is sitting at 9 points, right? So that's great money to be earning every single month. We'll see a couple of more wealth engineers later when we talk about the incentives that we're running. But
Good evening, everybody. I'm Natasha Waldrick, and I'm from Port Elizabeth in the Eastern.
You can go listen to a testimony on YouTube, right? So we've got tons of testimonies on YouTube for you to go watch. Everybody's different. We've got all these people from different backgrounds, different education, different experiences, different aspirations doing this business. The system is identical for everybody. It's identical for everyone. And so you're at liberty to decide what you want from DuePoint. You make the decision. No one makes the decision for you. You get to choose, this is what I want from DuePoint. How do I get it? What's the plan to get what I want out of DuePoint? Because I'm telling you, it's available for you. Whatever you tell me, if you come to me and say, I want to earn 85,000 Rand a month, no problem. Here's the plan. This is how long it's going to take. This is how much activity is going to take. It's as simple as that, right? On top of the returns program, we've got an XP rewards program. So this is added benefit for our wealth engineers. When your channel size gets to certain milestones, we call them ranks. Most of the ranks are additional cash checks that we give you. So if you see in our foyer, you'll see all these people holding up nice cash checks. But every now and again at some of the ranks, we give you a tool, typically a prospecting tool. Rank 5, we give you a business toolkit, a lot of our business merchandise and stationery, just to help you look a little more professional when you go out and speak to people. That's very important, right? To look good, speak well, be professional, let people take you seriously, right? Very important. By the way, you can get the merchandise on day one. You don't have to wait till you get to rank 9 to get it for free. Maybe invest a little bit into the business that you're getting engaged in. Get business cards. Rank 7, we give you very special business cards. They're handmade. They cost about 17,000 Rand to manufacture. They're a fortune when it comes to business cards, but they play a massive role in your prospecting success because no one has 17,000 Rand business cards. So if you've got 100 people all representing different business opportunities, and you would be the only person with business cards that cost 17,000 Rand. What impression does that make compared to all those other people coming to launder their businesses in front of you, right? And so great first impression of these business cards. Rank 9 is very special. We had a nice little Facebook post today about our Rank 9 conference. So Rank 9, we get to take you and your family to our Rank 9 International Conference, not once, every single year. Every year you get to come with us once you rank 9 and above. You need 1,000 products in your qualified channel. You're earning about 20,000 Rand a month at this stage. And so take a look at our documented video. Thanks. Of our last 2 trips. These have both been to Mauritius. We fly business class only. It's a 5-star luxury resort, and it's a week of living like a millionaire. It is. Thanks, Nick. So, those are the highlights from our last 2 trips. Our 3rd trip is already planned. We already know the activities we're doing, which resort we're going to. Business class has been booked out on the British Airways flight there and back. The tickets haven't been put in names yet, so you still have a chance, right? And I just imagine how that 3-minute video is going to get crazier and crazier and crazier, because then it's going to be 3 years of just the best parts, and then 4 years of just the best parts. And if I can, I'm itching to tell you what activities we're doing at the end of this year, because it's crazy. There's some billionaire activities planned for the next trip, right? So it's getting me very excited. And I'm hoping we'll have some new families joining us this year. Take you typically about 2-3 years to get there, generally. But we've had one person do it in 5 months. 5 months, right? You can do it faster than that, I'm sure. Someone's going to come along that's going to do it faster 5 months. I'm just telling you, it's available to you. Always a new kid on the block. 2 ranks later, we spend R250,000 buying you a brand new car. We pay for the car cash. It gets placed in your name. It doesn't get registered in our name. It's your car in your name. You get to park a brand new car in your garage with no debit order at the end of the month. Right? We've got a couple of wealth engineers that should be getting the car this year. They should be. They need to push harder. And so that's waiting for them. And so Lynette and Frikkie have already eyed this Ford EcoSport Titanium in the bottom corner here. And it's going to be their first brand new car they ever get. And they're, how old are they? 60s, 70s? Right? Their first brand new car. So they're super excited about it. And it's going to be an absolute pleasure giving them their car. And so this is the first 11 ranks of the rewards program. It goes up to rank 28, and the rewards get bigger and better. So if I tell you this is the cheap car, rank 9 is the cheap holiday, because we've already planned out up until the end of rank 28. Perhaps when people get there, we've got to decide, well, what are we doing for rank 29, rank 30? But we think long-term at DuePoint, because that's what we want. We want people to understand that we've made a long-term commitment to this business, and that's what we're inviting you into. Our business is very much built on the products that we've innovated, so at the same time, everything that we do at DuePoint is geared towards wealth creation, and our products are in the same vein, because our products are designed to protect the wealth that you've built over decades, right? And so Access Wealth's our first product. It is an investment and an insurance product in one. It costs you R324 a month. R100 gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. You can increase that R100 contribution up to $2,500 a month if you want to take full advantage of tax-free legislation that exists in South Africa. There's not a lot of things that are tax-free, right? So you can take full advantage of it if you want to. It starts at R100 though, and you get R120,000 worth of personal accident death cover. And so the beauty of that is that the price is the same for everybody, because we don't profile your health or your risk to us, right? So we don't worry about your age as long as you're over the age of 18, and we don't care about your health. Anyone can sign up. It's the same price for everybody. Then we've got WealthGuard. WealthGuard is personal accident death cover only to the value of R1,000,000. It costs you only R249 a month. You get R1,000,000 worth of personal accident death cover available to anyone over the age of 18. And then we've got Family Wealth, which is a funeral cover product, probably one of the best funeral cover products in the country. I'm always snooping around, checking what the competition does, and Family Wealth comes out on top every time so far. Starts at R299. You get R20,000 worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members. As the principal member, you also get R10,000 worth of debt protection. So in other words, we will pay any liability or debt that you have upon your death. You can increase the cover to R30,000 as well as up to 10 family members. And again, there's no pre-existing conditions that we exclude. Cover the whole family. Doesn't matter what their ages are, as long as they're under the age of 70. But once they're covered, they can, they can grow till beyond the age of they can get beyond the age of 70. We will still cover them because it's a whole of life product. As long as they get in before the age of 70, we will cover you until the day you die with this product. So wonderful funeral cover product. And then finally we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points is R299 a month. And hopefully with this product, you spend less every single month, because for the $299, you get to engage in the list of businesses that we have partnered with. We enjoy discounts and services from those businesses. And so hopefully you can spend less on data, on airtime, on cars, on getting your nails done, on going to restaurants, on hotels, all kinds of things. So if you engage in any of those businesses, you will save money every single month. And that's the point of wealth points, to lower your monthly expenditure. Then we're on to our incentives. So this is very exciting. The incentives, Achiever Quest is something that we launched in the last 2 months. If you want to earn money straight off the bat, so straight away, you can do it through the Achiever Quest. If you're able to connect 10 people on your first point and have them all pay successfully in the same month, we'll pay you an extra 5,000 Rand. So not 5,000 Rand, an extra 5,000 Rand on top of your return that you're earning that month. If you do 20 people in the same month, 10,000 Rand. If you do 30 people, you're going to get 15,000 Rand. And so theoretically, a brand new person coming into this business could earn at least 16,500 Rand in their first month at DuePoint. Right? So that's available for everybody. This is available every single month. Right? Achiever Quest. And here's a lovely lady who's hit the Achiever Quest 2 months in a row. So we only launched it 2 months ago. She's done it every single month. And so Simisehle stays in Johannesburg. She's been in the business for 7 months. Right? So she's been trying and trying and trying. For 5 months, she was trying and trying and trying. And people were just not paying. And she was just running into walls with the business. But all of a sudden, who knows what? Maybe she started saying things differently. Maybe she got business cards. Who knows what happened? But 2 months ago, she started having success. Connected 10 people, and all 10 people paid. And then again last month, put in 10 people, all 10 people paid. And so she's boosted her earnings by 10,000 Rand in the last 60 days. Right? And so that's the beauty of Achiever Quest. You can start earning even though you've only got 21 people on your first point. I think her whole business is only about 29 people in the whole channel. Right? So she still has to experience that duplication, but she is certainly taking advantage of the Achiever Quest here at DuePoint. Our longer term incentive is the 365 Challenge. This has a massive value in it because it's about 1.5 million Rand in value. So if you want to boost your income in the next 12 months by 1.5 million Rand, you do it through the 365 Challenge. It requires ultimate focus because you have to connect 365 people personally in the next 365 days. So it's one person a day that has to join DuePoint and at least pay their first 2 months in DuePoint, right? So we're quite lenient. We don't say they've got to pay for the whole year. They just have to pay their first 2 months, and you only require 40% of your business that you put in to still be around by the end of the year, or at least this 365-day period. And if you can do that, statistically, you'll get to about rank 13 or 14. You would be earning about 50,000 Rand a month by this time next year. And so that means you have the business cards, the business pack, the rank 9 holiday with your family. You've got the car parked in your garage. You've got a whole bunch of cash checks along the way. And if you do it in the time period and you conquer the 365 Challenge, we will give you an extra 365,000 Rand cash. And if you hit any of the Achiever Quests, which you will, right, it could be an extra 180,000 Rand a year. So 1.5 million Rand in value. Connect one person a day. There it is. On the table, I'll leave it there. Bloemfontein Encounter, wonderful opportunity. We are 2.5 weeks away from the Bloem Encounter. If you know anyone in the Free State, make as long a list as you can. Invite people to the Bloemfontein Encounter. Brendan's going down. He's going to be doing a business seminar, which is about 3 hours long. It's wonderful because when you get people to spend that amount of time with you, we can go through everything in DuePoint, and it just sustains belief in current wealth engineers. It builds your channel very effectively because people, they see what DuePoint's doing. They're able to see the full comprehensive business. And so it's an awesome opportunity to build a channel in the Free State. Right? So I'm from the Free State. It's a good place, nice and flat, not too many hills. It's easy to get to places. Easy to get around on a bicycle. And so go make a list of people, invite as many people as possible, because as we know, only half the people will arrive. If you invite 50, 25 will arrive, right? So make sure you invite as many as you can. Don't invite one and then assume they're coming, because there you're gambling. So do that. Go to our website, events. You'll see the Bloemfontein Encounter. Register yourself and guests. It costs you absolutely nothing. And so the decision always for me is for those people that are interested in this partnership, in this invitation, I take the decision making a step further. I don't want to know whether you want to join or not, right? If you haven't decided that by now, maybe you need to come to tomorrow lunchtime presentation again and listen to me again. But for the people that have made the decision that I'm interested in, the one is the intentional decision. What am I going to do tomorrow to build a channel? That's what I'm interested in. Not if you want to be a millionaire or if you want 10,000 Rand, everybody wants that. That's not a decision, that's a desire, right? I want to know how you're going to make the desire a reality. Because you need to figure that out in your head. In the next hour, 2 hours, even maybe while you go to bed tonight, you need to figure out, how am I going to fit DuePoint into my life? And I want your imagination to run wild at the same time when you make that decision. Because wherever you decide to prioritize DuePoint, you will reap the result of wherever DuePoint's prioritized. If it's after TV, after Facebook, after whatever else, right? Well, then you're not going to see huge results out of it. But if you want the huge results, just prioritize it higher. Commit more time to it. It's as simple as that. That's all you have to do, right? You don't have to figure out how to become a millionaire. You have to just figure out where you put DuePoint in your life. It's as simple as that. A little bit of background on Constantia. We are a 70-year-old insurance company. We've been around for a very long time. It's very important that you are able to go forward out there with passion, with belief, with trust, no skepticism. I know there's many business opportunities floating out there that you can be very skeptical about, yet some people still join those ones. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But this is most certainly a business you can trust. Why? Because one, we're trying to create long-term relationships, right? And that's built on trust, always. And you can break trust so quickly. And we've got a 70-year track record. You can go look for anything that might break that trust. There isn't anything, right? Know that we are a listed company, so we're on the Joburg Stock Exchange, which means we are publicly audited. We're regulated by the FSCA, right, which is very stringent. Go speak to anyone in finance. They will tell you what a huge pain in the bum it is to be in finance today, unfortunately. And so know that we have these very stringent guidelines that guide our business to protect consumers like yourself. That's the FSP number that we operate under. You can go to DuePoint site, the Constantia site, Conduit Capital, which is the listed company site. Go do some snooping around if you so wish. But I want you to have belief in your heart when you go speak to people about DuePoint, because they will see it in your eyes. They will see whether you believe in this business or not, or whether you're just trying to take a chance to see maybe you can make 55 Rand at the end of the month. We're not trying to make 55 Rand. We're trying to make a fortune. We're trying to make wealth in this business, right? So, long-term commitment. So I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, speak to the people that are hosting you, that have been kind enough to introduce you to us. If you have any questions on the live chat, go ahead and ask them. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the year. We've got 6 months left of the year. 6 months left. And so it's not too late. It's not too late. You can still make the next 6 months very prosperous for yourself. Yeah. One gentleman got to rank 9 in 5 months. And so perhaps one of you could even be grabbing that ticket, that business class ticket. So I wish you prosperity. Good luck. Thank you.